The ketogenic diet, also known as keto, is a diet that involves eating so few carbohydrates that your body must switch from using carbs to fat through a process called ketosis. Introduced 100 years ago for controlling diabetes and seizures, it's been growing in popularity as a means for weight loss since the 1970s. In this video, I hope to answer the question, is keto the best diet for weight loss? But before we begin, I'd like to give a shout out to Redhead Goes Healthy for asking me to do this video. She's actually been on keto for the past few weeks, so going to her channel would be a great follow-up after watching this. Also, if you'd like to learn more about weight loss and other fitness-related content, start right now by subscribing to this channel. So keto seems to be a better choice for some people, but not everyone. Let's look at some things to consider. Insulin. I'm going to get technical here, but if you truly want to burn fat, I need you to pay close attention to this part. Replay it if you have to. First, let's quickly talk about how your body stores fat. Anytime you eat a meal, your body responds by releasing a hormone called insulin. How much of it is released depends on how easily your food can be broken down into sugar. So simple carbohydrates, especially actual sugar, cause the biggest insulin response. Insulin's job is to bring this sugar from your blood into your muscles and liver. And once your muscles and liver are full, the remaining sugar is converted into fat and stored in your fat cells. When we take in too many simple sugars, we get a dramatic insulin spike followed by a blood sugar crash, which makes us crave even more sugar. And when we do this too often, we can even get insulin resistant, causing our bodies to release more and more insulin to get the job done. But here's the important part. Insulin prevents the release of body fat for energy. No matter what diet we use, we have to escape this cycle to be able to burn body fat. Keto is great for this purpose because on keto, you're almost only eating protein and fat, which both have a very low impact on blood sugar and insulin. Now, I'm not giving medical advice, I'm just giving a summary, but this is why keto is often chosen for people with diabetes or metabolic syndrome. On the other hand, if you want to go the balanced diet route and still get these benefits, choose complex carbohydrates instead of simple sugars, and maybe skip the carbs on 1 or 2 meals per day. You might not go into ketosis, but you'll keep your blood sugar levels more stable and improve your insulin sensitivity. One of the reasons people choose keto is the promise of faster weight loss. You'll probably lose at least 5 to 10 pounds of water in the first week as a result of burning off the carbs left in your muscles and liver. You have to burn through this before you really start using more fat for energy. That basically goes for any weight loss diet. Aside from this rapid drop in water weight, does keto actually result in faster weight loss? Well, in this study published in 2004, researchers compared the amount of fat loss between keto and low-fat diets. To be honest, I wasn't expecting much difference between the two, but fat lost by the keto group was greater than the fat lost by the low-fat group. After 24 weeks, the group eating low-carb lost an average of 9.8 kilograms of fat versus the 4.8 kilograms lost by the group eating low-fat. However, 76% of the keto group stayed on their diet long enough to complete the study, while only 56% of the low-fat group stuck with theirs. Which leads me to the next point. Consistency. A diet only works if you stick to it, so it helps if you enjoy the food. And keto is relatively simple. You pretty much just avoid all high carbohydrate foods and you're on your way to ketosis. Just be sure that you're not choosing any diet that makes you feel deprived and later causes you to binge. Remember, your family and friends are probably going to invite you to parties and social gatherings, so you might have to turn down what everybody else is eating. But if you can stick to a high-fat diet better than you can consistently stick to a balanced diet, whichever one you can stick to is definitely going to give you the better results. Reduced caloric intake. Simply switching to ketogenic food isn't always enough to make you lose weight. You still have to eat less calories than you burn. Otherwise, gaining weight is still possible. Sometimes people's weight can respond better to keto, especially if their insulin was out of control. But in most cases, people eat less calories when they switch to keto because they're not replacing the calories from cutting out carbohydrates. Protein. Most people going from an average diet to keto are increasing their protein intake. The typical Western diet usually consists of about 50% carbohydrates, 15% protein, and 35% fat. When it comes to keto, different sources cite different ratios, but a typical profile would be 5% carbohydrates, 25% protein, and 70% fat. Not only does protein burn a lot of calories just to digest, but it helps keep the blood sugar stable and keeps the appetite under control. But you can also achieve these benefits by just increasing your protein intake on any type of diet. You can take a look at this study from 2018 if you'd like to read more about the effects of protein on energy balance. Exercise performance. This really depends on what kind of exercise you like to do, but keto might affect your exercise performance. If you like to do things like walking, hiking, or maybe even jogging or cycling, you probably won't notice much difference, but you will if you like to do high-intensity exercise. Athletes from the same study I found that information were able to maintain their strength in the short term, but they all lost significant muscle mass. I actually found another study saying that keto preserves muscle mass, but I'm pretty sure this has a lot to do with your workout methods. Maybe I'll go into detail on that on another video. Side effects. When your body first switches from glucose to ketones, 2 to 7 days in, you might experience what's known as the keto flu. This includes symptoms like headache, mental fog, fatigue, irritability, nausea, etc. Keto flu is not actually recognized as an official medical condition, and those are all temporary symptoms. Our modern lifestyle involves so much food being constantly available to us that our bodies barely remember what ketosis is. Maybe keto flu is actually caused by our ketosis gears being a little rusty. Aside from this, there aren't really any well-documented side effects from keto. Much of the stigma surrounding it in the medical community has decreased in recent years, but it's important not to confuse nutritional ketosis with ketoacidosis, which is actually quite dangerous. So to recap, keto is simple, it can be easier to stick to, and in some studies it's been shown to result in faster weight loss. I personally like to use a balanced diet instead of keto because I like flexibility, but I'm not opposed to keto, and it could definitely be the right choice for some dieters. It's all based on preference, how well you feel you'll stick to the diet of your choice, and what kind of exercise you plan on doing. Always make sure to check with your doctor before starting a new program. I hope you found this video informative and relatively unbiased. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and maybe share it with anybody considering doing keto. Thanks for watching.